Hello everybody, welcome to Sports Federation TV, where we talk about the various sports in the Western Cape. My name is JP Nordiera. I'm standing in for Len Ch263 tonight. She's of course up at the Arnold Classic with Q Sports, and I'm sure we'll get all the feedback about that next week when she's back in the hot seat. And as I said, talking about sport in the Western Cape. As you know, Sport Federation TV covers the 6 districts, the Cape Town district, the Cape Winelands area, the Eden area, the West Coast, the Central Karoo, the Overberg. So all of the sport in the Western Cape, and that's Sport Federation TV dedicated to the sport in the Western Cape. For those of you that are interested in winning yourself a case of Bashu's cool drink, been around since 1899, one of South Africa's oldest cool drinks. You're going to get an opportunity to win yourself a case of Bashu's cool drink a little bit later during the course of the show. So don't go away. We've got a jam-packed show tonight, from football to archery, but we'll start off with sailing. Joining me on the show tonight, we've got two young entrepreneurial sport athletes, sailors, if you want to call it that, Ammaar Hoosen and Salwah Mohammed. Ammaar, welcome to Sport Federation TV.
Thank you.
And Salma, am I saying your name right? Salma?
It's Salwah.
Salwah.
Yes.
And you are, how old are you?
12 years old.
12 years old. All right, let's start off with Ammaar. Ammaar, now you guys went sailing recently. You're both from Islamia, and your coach Karen came to fetch you guys at school, and she's of course from the Ch263 Yacht Club.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what it is that you guys did. How did you find out about the sailing opportunity?
So I was at home the first day watching TV, and then my mommy phoned me and asked me if I want to, that the school chose me to do a sailing course. So I said, yes, I'll do it. So the first day I went there, I was first concerned about if I'll be able to do it, because I'm not the tallest or the strongest people.
Yeah.
So when I got there, I found out that it's more about angles and wind direction.
Did you'd never been you've never done any sailing before?
No.
All right, and Salwa, did you also, was this your first time doing any sailing?
Yeah, it was the very first time I was introduced to sailing.
So were you also a little bit anxious before going there?
Not really, but I was really excited to try out a new thing.
So what was the first thing that they showed you when you got to the yacht club?
We first got to know each other, and then Karen showed us where everything was.
Yeah.
And the first drill she taught us was how to tack.
How to attack?
How to tack. How to turn the boat.
All right. So, but when you got there, what was there? A big boat or a small boat? Or tell us a little bit about the boat itself. Or were there lots of boats? Or
there's lots of boats on different racks, and then but first we were split up into 3-3, and then 3 of us went with her on this other boat that not an Optimus, bigger, and then
the Optimus is of course a little bit of a smaller boat.
Smaller boat with one sail.
So you get different size boats.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And then?
And then she just showed us, like, we didn't know what anything meant while she was talking the first time, but she just showed us different drills, and then afterwards we learned how to do it properly.
All right. Ammaar, let's go back to you now. So you were telling us earlier on about the first experience when you got there. Now, Salwa was saying the first thing you had to do was get to meet everybody and meet and greet and so on. How was that experience for you? Were there a lot of friendly faces and other children?
Yes, I've seen them all before because we go to the same school, obviously.
Right.
So when we got there, all shared snacks and drinks and stuff.
Then that was when the day started. Was it a long day? What all did you guys do during the day itself?
Yes, it was very long.
Yeah.
So when we got there, Karen would tell us everything, and then she would say, go get dressed and get into our swimsuits.
Oh, did you have to wear a swimsuit?
Yeah,
or a sailing suit? Oh, a wetsuit.
Yeah.
Okay, a wetsuit. Why did you have to wear a wetsuit?
Because when we get into the water, then if the wind blows against us, we'll get cold, and a wetsuit keeps you warm.
All right. So tell us, Salwa, a little bit more about the sailing itself. You were telling me before we came on the camera that they put the boat on like a round thing and they were turning it in different angles. What was that all about?
Because we had to learn the different drills on land first before we could test it in the water.
Yeah.
They tied an Optimus to this big disc thing that
Yeah.
could turn the boat. So every time the wind was supposed to, like if you are tacking, you're turning the boat.
Right.
So the wind would blow against your sail, and that's what would cause the boat to turn, because your sail would flip the other way.
Okay, so
So
they were
the-
sort of imitating
The wind.
how the boat would turn if the wind was blowing from different directions.
Yes.
All right. So, Ammaar, when you guys were doing this, were you using ropes, and did they teach you how to do different knots, or when did you act? What more were you doing there?
So we first get in there, and then we have to tie all the ropes to the sail and keep the sail down with the mast and the
Yeah.
boom. So then when we get in there, you hold on the tele extension.
Onto the tiller. Oh, the tiller. That's of course the thing right at the back of the boat that helps you with the steering.
Yes.
Okay. See, I know a little bit about sailing.
So, well, I'm saying now how to tack.
Okay.
So
yes.
you're holding the tele extension,
Yeah.
and then you push the tele extension, and then the boat will be moving a bit, like making a U-turn almost.
Yeah.
So then you see the sail coming over, so you duck under the boom, and you go to the other side, and you carry on sailing.
Okay. So listening to the two of you talking to me about sailing here, it sounds to me like you both had a great time.
Yes.
It actually felt like it went too quick for 18 hours.
Yeah. So if we now look at sailing, do you think you're going to go back to sailing, Ammaar?
I would love to
You
go
would love
back.
to?
Yes.
Do you think Mom and Dad are going to take you back?
I don't know. Let's
Are you
hope
going to
so.
ask? You're going to ask them, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And Salwah, just tell me quickly, what for you, what was the most exciting part of sailing? Do you think that you now have learned how to sail? Can you take a boat out on your own?
I think so, but still we have a lot to learn about sailing. But we know the basics.
You know the basics, and you think you want to go back?
Yes, they're actually having, I think between August and September starting, then they're having like actual sailing classes after school.
All right.
So then
So
they'll
do
be,
they do that at Ch263 Yacht Club, where
Yes.
there's classes for kids who want to learn how to sail?
yes.
All right. Okay. So Ammaar, are you going to be telling your friends to come and join you there? Do you think
Yes.
Mom's going to let you go sailing?
I hope so.
You hope so. All right. Okay, well, we're going to leave it at that. So congratulations on what sounds like your first sailing experience. Sounds like you guys had a good time.
Yes.
And thanks for joining us here on Sport Federation TV.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us very
Oh,
much.
you guys are so sweet. All right, guys, there we go. All right, folks, there we have it. Ammaar Hoosen and Salwah Mohammed, both from Islamia, that went out to their first sailing experience, of course, courtesy of the Western Cape Sailing Association, or Sailing South Africa in the Western Cape, but with the sailing club in Ch263 making an attempt to engage and get the youth involved in sailing, and thrilling to hear the youngsters here talking about the fact that they love the sailing experience and hopefully will go back there if Mom allows them to. So we certainly hope for them. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back to the break, we're going to be catching up with Karen Holzer. She's the chairperson of Western Cape Archery and former Olympic contender. So we're quite privileged to have Karen here. She'll tell us a little bit about how to shoot a bow. Back in a sec.